everybody. I'm Peter Stroud. Thanks so much for coming out on noon. Maybe I robbed some of you guys from what you normally be doing, working or whatever. But,
yeah, thank you.
This, I promise we'll have a good time. Now, I really appreciate you coming. I'm here in town playing with Sheryl tonight, Sheryl Crow up at Bell Center. Yeah, and we're kicking off a 2-week tour of Canada. We're all the way across east to west. Start here and end up in Victoria on October 5th, I believe.
My birthday.
Oh, is it? Well then, there's your trip plan.
Got a date.
Fly yourself out or get you a ticket.
Love it.
But yeah, so we're really excited about it. It's been quite a while since we've done a tour. I think the last time I did a full-on tour was when we see the Lilith Fair back in 2001 maybe, somewhere in there. And then prior to that, I toured with Pete Droge in the Centers. We were on tour opening for Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Wow. We did the very same thing. We went from west to east. Started in Vancouver, came all the way across over a month. And that was the most amazing tour. One of the most amazing tours I've ever done.
So tonight's your first night?
Yeah, tonight's our first night. And we've been out touring and doing whatever since January. Ever since the last NAMM show when I saw you, which is always in mid-January. I went straight from NAMM to rehearsal. Carrying with me the NAMM show flu. And sat there on a stool just, yeah, I'm sure Cheryl's going now. So where were you? But, so yes, Jeremy, when he opened the store, had Jeremy Stern had called us with interest in carrying the 65 line, which we're very thankful to have you on as a dealer, our first dealer in Canada, in all of Canada, actually.
Cool. Jeremy.
Yeah. We're very appreciative, and so yeah, of course I was thrilled with the chance to be able to come up and hang out and have a chance to meet any of you, and I really appreciate you coming. So I'll take this time to run through the guitar amps and sort of give you an overview or detailed description actually of each of the amps. My partner, Dan Bull, and I started the company over 5 years ago, and it was mainly just sort of a happening where he had called me one time and he goes, "Man, what's a good amp?" And he was looking for one for himself. And I said, "I don't know who makes one, but there's these new clones of 18-watt Marshalls that are out. Everybody's sort of getting on this whole 18-watt thing." And I finally played through one. There was this guy who had this amp called Balls Amps out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He was a banker by day, amp builder by night. So he was one of the first I met of this whole new internet community of tone freaks, as we all are, that aside from our day gigs, get involved with other activities. And that was his. He would build these clones. And it was killer. To me, it was like a Plexi 50-watt Marshall, in a box that you could stand in front of. So I was telling him about it. Next thing I know, a couple weeks later, he goes, "Yeah, man, there's this website called 18watt.com. I'm going to build one of these things." So I had no idea you had that. So then I never did that. And so another couple weeks goes by, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, a good friend of mine, was offering to put up some money for me to build 5 prototypes." And then he was talking to me about, being an artist, sort of representative, to be able for him to send the amps to me to try to give input and all that. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't we just do this together? Because in my early days, I had always tweaked and hot rodded my old vintage amps, and by that time, 5 years ago, I had defined ideas of what I was looking for that we couldn't find. The biggest thing that we found when I was playing with Sheryl Crow was stage volume was the main issue. And from with Pete Droge, we didn't care. We just played whatever volume put up with the sound and telling us to turn it down. But you know, once I got with Don Henley, I was using a 50-watt Marshall combo, a super reverb, and by the end of the tour, I had hot plates on them and plexiglass. So, and this is playing arena, so I could hear the front row talking during a ballad, which was the most irritating thing in the world. But that's pretty much the case. Everybody's on in-ears, stage volumes are contained. With Sheryl, our stage volume's not that low, but we use our drummer as the gauge. And of course her music and her vocals and her Sheryl's comfort zone for singing, and it keeps the volume. Even with our London, which is 18 watts, it's a loud 18 watts. So I still use attenuators on our stage. We have our speaker cabinets all facing in, thank goodness. You know, fortunately we haven't had to resort to put any cabinets off stage or anything like that.
Is this an artist request for that volume, or is it always the sound man that says, listen, you got to turn it down?
It's both. It's definitely both. You know, I've even seen on shows that we've done over in Europe. We did a TV show with POD, who's one of the acts on, and oh shoot, what was the other band that I had noticed? But say in their case with POD, it's at a volume that you could go, yeah, so how are you getting that sound? You know, it was so low. You know, all their sound was that chunk sound at a lower volume. By the time it's mic'd up, you know, it doesn't matter. And they were all on in-ears, so you could literally talk over their stage volume. And one of the best tones I get is using a little Supro Super, a little Class A 5-watt amplifier with one microphone right on it, and use it for soak up the sun, and I hear, you know, because of course he can just crank it up through the house. Yeah, he's not hearing it at all up there. It's the biggest sound, just as big as any of the other amps. So there's something to be said for it. You know, what it is with us or with me, is finding that nice balance of stage volume, get the feedback response to where the guitar works off of the amp, and not alienate the rest of the band, you know, especially Sheryl, you know, keep it comfortable on stage. So that was an important issue, was to get a good sound at a lower volume, and that has definitely been the center of focus for us with 65, is getting the most ultimate sound, the ultimate feel and response out of the amps that we've designed, you know, at a comfortable volume you can stand in front of.